and I've actually been blogging for about 2.5 years now, and I get about, depends on the day or the month, but I get about 18,000 visits per month. And I'm going to show you 5 ways that could help you to drive that type of traffic. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to blow your competition away, and we're going to go right into it. So like Rick said, make sure you have a piece of paper, a pen. I'm going to be going through this. I want to make sure that I'm not going to be wasting any of your time, so I want to go through this a little bit quicker, but we will have a recording of this available for anybody who was not able to. We will have a recording available as well for anyone who needs to check on this afterwards. Technology pending, of course. So let's begin. First of all, I want you to understand something. I actually did not start off with tens of thousands of visits coming to my blog every single month. In fact, when I first started out, I had 69 visits to my blog the first month. 69 visits. And I'm not just talking about like visits, like people like, hey, this is great. You're just starting off with internet marketing. You've never done anything else. I had 20,000 followers at the time when I started from Twitter, and I had about 3,000 to 4,000 friends on Facebook at the time. And I just didn't know how to drive traffic to a blog. I had never done it before. And anything I had done at that time, I had been doing pay-per-click ads a little bit because I had been told that that's a good way of doing it. Well, I had to learn from my mistakes. And as you can see here, I did a blog last year about this, and I actually liked the blog. It's called the Social Networking Blog, spelled it 10 times over. And you can check out that link, by the way. The blog post is still active, and you can see some of the mistakes that I made when I first got started. One, poor design. Oh my God, some of those initial designs that I had for my blog, they were atrocious. I mean, I look back at it and I'm like embarrassed. I didn't actually do SEO on my blog until like May or June of 2010. I literally didn't understand the importance of SEO because I figured, hey, look, I'm trying to teach people how to use social media. What do I have to do with SEO? It has nothing to do with me. There's no way I'm ever going to compete with like Wikipedia or SEO Moz or Twitter or Facebook. Why do I have to worry about it? I also, in addition to that, I didn't actually understand how to set up an RSS feed. I actually had people asking to join my RSS feed in 2010, and I said, yeah, it's all set up. And I actually didn't set it up correctly, and I didn't understand how to set it up. So I waited 7 months before I actually set it up. Additionally, I didn't understand how to do email marketing. I actually didn't build my list pretty much for the first year I was doing my blog. I didn't understand the benefit of it. And the final thing was, and I know Rick and I were talking about this beforehand, I didn't actually have a quality Facebook fan page, which I actually actively engage with people, even though I was doing social media. So I'm telling you right now, if you think this is all about, hey, this is going to be a rah-rah session about all the cool things that I've done, you're in for a really sour time, because this is not going to be about just, hey, this is easy. This takes time to build, but when you build it, it's amazing what it can do for your business. So let's talk about how to do that. And the biggest way that you can start doing that is through consistency. I had a challenge for myself. In 2010, it was January, I decided, you know what, I want to give this blogging thing a shot. I had heard everybody talking about it. I said, you know what, it's time for me to do this. I'm going to blog 5 times a week for a year. I'm not going to sit there and I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to blog once every week, because I know if I do it once a week, I would never do it. I said, I'm going to blog 5 times a week, every day during the week, and then I'll take the weekend off. And I started this as a challenge to myself, and I think I started off the blog. I started in early January. I was able to put together in about 2 weeks the initial blog, and I got running on it. And I started doing it. And I wasn't even sure that I could do it for a month, let alone a year. But for me, that was my big, audacious, like, hairy idea. I know there's like a book about that somewhere, but this is something that seems so big to me that if I could do it, it'd just be awesome. And I did. And I started going out, I started blogging, and I started creating content. And realistically, none of us would be here today if it wasn't for the fact that back in 2.5 years ago, I was consistent with what I did in blogging. And I kept creating blogs, and I kept having these blog post ideas. And, I didn't even know you could actually create that many blog post ideas, but I've done it. And as you can see here, I actually have an article, a blog post I did last year as well. You have to be stubborn enough to never quit. Because when you're blogging, there's times you think you're running up against the wall and you're not sure what benefit you're going to get, and that's exactly when you get your best client from blogging. And I know for me, time and time again, I would get clients from blogging exactly at the time when I thought it was not working the most. So keep with it, you're consistent, amazing things happen. How do we do that? Well, first of all, you have to be able to understand exactly what your numbers are. As you can see here, this is a screenshot of Google Analytics. I use this for my blog religiously. I'm constantly using it to understand exactly what's going on with my blog, because the analytics of my site, and you can even see here in the top tab, you even see like a web form generator, which is, I was using that for Aweber, tracking it with email marketing and with Google Analytics, and then even checking on like Facebook Insights. It's key to understanding exactly what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong with your site. And you learn from it and you understand the patterns. Like if you notice the patterns here on my blog, you see dips like every 5 or 6 posts. And that's because every weekend my blog takes a dip. It just generally overall does not do well on Saturdays and Sundays. Now, the exception to that is every single time my site's gone viral, it's gone viral on a weekend. However, generally, I'll have a great week, and then on the weekend, it'll sort of dip, and I'll have about half the traffic I would on the weekend, because a lot of people that read my articles are business owners, and they are not as active on the weekend because they're with their family. So that's okay. But I understand that trend, and I know every Saturday, if I have 300 people come to my site, then that means every Monday I'll be 500. And that's how I know what my site is doing and what's right and what's wrong. And if something's off with that number, I know to check it. And I know to start evaluating stuff. I took a little bit of a hit from Google Penguin. So I started adjusting for that and taking some different measures and going back to some of the basics of how to do good SEO. And there's some good social media measurement tools here that can save you some time, money, and heartburn, as you can see. And you can check out that link below. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is, because I always get this, how do you actually create good content? And the answer is very simple. Be interesting. I have a very bad sense of humor. By the way, you could raise your hand if you want on here. If you think I have a really bad sense of humor, I'm not going to be too offended. But I want you to understand that bad sense of humor, it gives me a good edge when I'm writing an article, because I could write something really cool, like the one I did here. I wrote an article on Disqus versus Intense Debate versus ReCAPTCHA versus WordPress comment system die. That was actually the real title I wanted to use, but it apparently said I couldn't put die in there 3 times because it was too many words. My point is, I actually, if you could see this little bracket system, I created a basic bracket system, like an NCAA-style bracket system, and I actually did a post on this because about a year ago, I was having problems with a blog post, and every single time I would try and switch up to a different WordPress comment system, it wouldn't work, and it was driving me absolutely bonkers. So I actually did a bracket system, NCAA-style, to see who would be the best one. And I actually eventually came up with ReCAPTCHA. Then about a month later, I found out about this really cool plugin called Gasp, which is just so easy and basic. I just replaced it, and I've used that ever since. But while I was having those struggles, I just created this really cool post, and I think StumblePond shows I got 1,000 views in one day from StumblePond just for that bracket. That still to this day, it has like 50 or 60 comments on it. It's probably one of my most commented blog posts I've ever had.
Can you say that again, Andy? I mean, it can get really easy to get lost in what you're saying there as far as 1,000. Did you get 1,000 in one day?
StumblePond is really kind of cool. It's one of those nice little sites. It'll sort of give you a little bit of traffic, and then all of a sudden one article hits, and you all of a sudden get like 1,000 views in a day. I once had like 1,200 views in a day just from StumblePond. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's like, I don't know what it is. Like every 6 months, you're going around, you're going along, and then boom, you have like this huge increase in traffic. and you'll get like 1,200 views. It's crazy. I mean, it's one of those sites that's really kind of cool and no one thinks about, but it just delivers huge amounts of traffic if you get the right day.
And you're still getting views from that article?
Yeah, I don't get a lot, but I'd say I probably get 50 to 100 views a month from that, and that's a year ago.
So
year and a half.
Okay, now taking that question, just expanding on that question, and then we'll go back to your presentation. I'm just curious personally, and I know everybody else, or at least a few, are thinking the same thing. If you had over 1,000 people in one day, is there any way to track? Did you do any tracking features on actually how many of those have come through and filtered through and staying in your sales funnel and either became an offline customer or some other, or bought a product from you? Did you do any tracking on that when you were doing this?
You know what? I can't track. You know what? I don't have that. That's a good question. I might be able to do it through Aweber. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I could actually track it that specifically. I know I could track if they're from. I know I could track what site they're from. I'm trying to think. I bet you I could probably. Because a lot of people I track through Aweber. That's why a lot of times, like when I'll have people go through like a site, because I want them to sign up for my Aweber account so that way I can track where they came from, so I understand what's working. And I think that I don't know. I might be able to check what page. Sometimes it does show, so I'm not sure how many people actually signed up specifically from that blog post.
Well, just a couple more quick questions, and we'll go back to where you were at. Karen's asking, what is the name of the plugin that you're using for the sites that you're using? What is the main plugin that you like to use?
Comment system. For the comment system, Rick?
Yes. Your audio is a little weak here. Lorenzo's saying your audio is a little on the weak side. Now I need somebody to type in and see how my audio is. Somebody type back in. Can you hear me all right? Let's do a sound check.
Can you hear me better now?
That is better. Let's make sure that everybody can hear you. Both are weak. Wayne, we both are very weak on this, so your audio is good. Okay. All right. We want to make sure that we get good audio. Thank you so much, Wayne. He says we're both a little weak on there. I am speaking, I would say turn up your volume there, Wayne, because I have a fairly good quality microphone here, and I'm up pretty high, so I would say adjust your volume. So make sure that make sure we turn our volumes up, and everybody else do the same. I think we'll be fine.
Okay. I apologize. I was trying to get Rick, since I'm recording some stuff. I was trying to get Rick on there, but that's fine. I just put it on there. It's more important that everyone hears me. I apologize if it wasn't clear. The comment system, the WordPress comment system that I was using is called GASP. It's GrowMap Anti-Spam Bot. It's a plugin available when you get it on the dashboard, or it's on the WordPress.org extend plugin list. And it's really simple. What it does is, think of it this way: you install the plugin, and reCAPTCHA, like we all know, if you go to a site, you have to type in those weird alien letters. This actually is just a checkbox. So it simplifies the process. You don't really have to worry about how many people are actually there. You could just go in and you just click the checkbox and you're done. And it makes it easier for commenters, because more people are encouraged to make a comment if they don't have to spend as much time.
Well, I want to also throw this in real fast. Mark Holgren, who's helped me out tremendously on some WordPress stuff, and he's been a great contributor in our groups. And he's saying that Intense Debate's one that works. It's a great comment system, but he did say it slows his sites down.
I hated Intense Debate.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry. I'm closing out my Skype. I just realized I was still in there. I didn't want to slow down anything.
Okay.
I could not stand Intense Debate. I'm sorry. That's personal choice.
Yeah, it says Andy is much louder than Rick. Can you hear me all right? I've had that sometimes happen, and I think I can hear but anyway, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I think I'm loud and clear, but maybe I don't want to scream at nobody. I want everybody to make sure we can hear. So
what other questions do people have?
Well, we were asking those. I was asking those questions and going through there. The GASP, yes, GASP works very well. That's Ian saying that. And that is that a free plugin or is that a paid plugin?
It's a free plugin.
Wonderful, wonderful. No problems
Yeah.
with your volume. I just did. Okay, you're better now. Okay, well, it looks like our audio is cleared up.
Okay.
Now, we talked briefly earlier before we started the webinar, and I kind of threw some questions out there that he didn't know I was going to do. So I'm trying to get him prepped up here. So I don't stump him, but I got to do something to stump Andy.
Okay.
So you guys, come on. I know y'all have got some questions in particular that you want to have some answers for. This is the time to stump Andy. This is our grilling and barbecuing time.
I'm glad that you want to stump me, Rick. And,
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you what. How about we let me go through this part so people could do it, and then we'll come back to stump me afterwards.
All right.
If you want to do stump me, we could do it afterwards.
Yeah, we answered all the questions. Now there's a couple of them. All right. Yeah, we had a couple more questions, but we can sure do that.
I'll tell you what. Let's do one or two more questions, and then we'll go back.
All right. Mark's asking, do you use HubSpot?
Make sure we're not losing.
Yeah, because what it to you is just common knowledge from all the time that you spent with it is not common knowledge to everybody else. And Mark's got a great question here. It says, do you use HubSpot for traffic?
No, I have not. I know that's good. I've never. You know what? I read their articles. I don't know why I've never actually looked at it.
Okay.
I do use it for some of their tools, but I've never really used it that often.
All right. Well, one more question, and we'll let. All right, that's fair. One more question, because I know there's a ton more, and we'll hold off on the rest of the questions. But Karen over here is just dying to get this question answered. She says, Andy, do you stay focused on a single theme on your blog, or do you pick things that are of current interest? How do you find what you want to write about? Excellent. I know he was going to go to that, but when you get a chance, answer.
That's sort of what I'm getting at.
I know. Well, all right. Andy's got.
Very, very simple. Think of it this way. You wanna write an article. First of all, I don't do as much as I used to, by the way, but I do a lot of networking. I used to do 5 to 8 networking events a week. I couldn't handle that pace, so I've slowed down to about 2 or 3 right now. But I've replaced a lot of that with the work that we do here online, just networking with people. I do a lot of work on LinkedIn. And one of the things that I notice is every conversation is a possible blog post. And that's something that you'll pick up. And actually, I have people who will now tell me, hey, Andy, you should write a blog post about this, first of all. But secondly, every time I'm talking to someone, it's a potential blog post. Like Rick and I were talking about what would I do differently if I started over. And one of the things I was talking about was Facebook fan pages. Well, you know what? I mean, I have enough articles right now for the next 2 weeks because I just got a huge influx of guest blog posts, which is another thing that you could do. But the thing that I did was I actually took a look at how I could do things differently and how I could actually create something in what would be a good topic. And so a lot of times after a while, you'll start noticing trends. So one of the things that I always noticed I started talking about was how to do something quickly on social media. So I started up a segment. It was sort of like a miniature of that called the Social Networking Minute. So every Friday, I do something that is supposed to take 1 minute for social networking. In some weeks, it's a little bit hard to find because, you know what, after a while, there are some activities that take longer than a minute, but it's the concept. And every Friday, I know I just need to find something in social networking that's quick, and I can create a quick video for it. And then Thursdays, I was attempting to do podcasting. I didn't really like the format, so I'm holding off on that. I'm probably going to go back to that in a few weeks. I was doing Thursday talks. So it was a picture of me with my hands on my chin, like that, like the thinker pose, except I was wearing clothes. And then on Tuesdays, I do Guru Gushers. So I talk about a different product every week. You start getting into systems, and you start getting into processes. And the one thing I would say that really helps me is whenever I feel my articles are getting stale, or whenever I feel it's like a drag, I start asking for guest blog posts. And I have some places that I can go. I'm not going to tell people unless they're members because those are my secret spots, and I don't want more competition on that. But I have places I can go for guest articles where I could get 10 to 20 articles in about a week. And actually, right now, I have about 10 emails from potential guest blog posts that I haven't even looked through because I haven't had time. So there's a few different things you could do, but a lot of it's just you figure it out as you go. But also, what I tell people is you should think of 100 topics before you even get started and write it down and brainstorm. Because those 100 topics will probably be the focus, will probably turn into 500 when you really break it down. So if you're talking about Facebook fan pages, you talk about, well, how do you not be boring on Facebook? Or that sort of goes in, let's go back into this, Karen, and I'm going to, since I was ready to start going into this a little bit, be interesting. You notice here, and some of these are actually products, like 28-cent articles is actually a product I created, but it basically starts like, hey, how to write articles for the price of for the money you find in your couch. And since we actually just had to replace our couch covers, I could definitely tell you, I think we found at least 28 cents in there. And you think of stuff that people would normally think are everyday things, you turn it around. And this terrifying drama of throwing darts blindly for clients. I actually have a YouTube video. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's me throwing darts, and I'm actually literally blindfolded throwing at people, and there's people saying, "Oh, I got hit." Be funny, be different. That's what people are looking for. I mean, sometimes my stuff is a little bit weird, but at least it's different, and you don't want to be like everybody else. That's what drives traffic. The reason why this discus one got so much traffic was because it was unique and it was helpful. And I should probably put those together. It has to be unique and helpful. And the terrifying drama of throwing darts blindly for clients and get our stress-free social networking training system. It's unique and it's helpful. Same thing here, 28-cent articles. Oh my God, 28-cent articles. Unique and helpful. I hope that answers the questions, Rick. Would you say it would?
Yes, it would. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Okay. Cool. And just to move on, because I want to make sure that you do understand that once you get that content, you also have to get the word out. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, and believe me, we could do a completely separate webinar. And I know for the membership, we have done separate webinars just on
this is powerful topics right here. This is the stuff that they do not teach you in those WSOs, okay, or some of these products that are for selling on ClickBank and that are the $10 or $20. This is the stuff that you have to dig in deep to know. It's not like it's a secret, but you really need to dig in deep to find out where these tribes are, how they're doing it, and really, really interesting what Andy's doing here. He showed me a few things, just blew my mind with this.
And that's one of the things that we're talking about here with the tribes. I get a lot of my traffic from these tribes. A lot of my traffic from social media, and these tools do nothing but help. All they do is they bring traffic in all day. And actually, one of the things I'm going to do again, and I was just having this conversation with somebody, was that I need to sign up for OnlyWire. I let my subscription go because I figured, I have Ping, but now that Ping got bought over by Seismic, they don't have enough stuff there. So I want to go back to OnlyWire because I want to just get more syndication of my information. All it's doing is making your life 10 times easier and getting out all this information to all your different social networks so more people see your information. It's really, really cheap. I mean, it's like OnlyWire is like $250 a month or $25 a year for the annual. Social Marker's free, Ping's free, Triber is mostly free, and TSA is mostly free. And TSA and Triber, by the way, and that's something that we go into more, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. Those are tribes, and just to give people an idea, how many people in this room have heard of Seth Godin's Tribes or read the book? You raise your hand or let me know, and Rick, tell me what the answers are.
Definitely quite a few of them have read it. I've never actually read it, to be honest with you, but I'm very familiar with what I have been able to see, and people have shared with me, and guilty as charged. I have not read it, but I'm familiar with the book.
Guilty. Everyone who hasn't read it. No, I'm kidding. No, for those of you who haven't read it, it's a great book. I think I actually read it at Borders. This is probably why Borders went out of business, because people like me would sit down while their wife was looking around for different books to buy, and I sat down waiting for my wife to come by, and I actually read the entire book while I was waiting for her. And it's a really short read, but the entire idea of tribes is the following: when you take a look at like traditional societies, everyone has their tribe. They were part of different tribes. And the tribes would be people who would support them. And everyone was part of the same tribe. So, like, for example, you're part of the Cherokee tribe. I don't know, Rick, if it's me or you, but I'm hearing an echo here.
Okay.
And the tribes that the tribes that they're part of, they really were there to help people. And what happens is that business owners are taking a look at this, and they're taking a look at all the stuff that's going on with internet marketing, especially blogging. And they said, why don't we do a different type of tribe? Why don't we do a tribe that actually supports people just like that? It's same idea, 100, 150 people that actually help each other. And I'm part of two different tribes. One's called TSA, Tribe Syndication Association. Another one's called Triber. And they're very different organizations, and but they're very similar in what they're trying to do. And what they basically help you do is they basically help leverage your business. So instead of having to go out there and if I want to have my blog posted and get it out to 1,000 people, well, is it easier for me to do it by myself or do it with 100 people? The answer is probably going to be pretty clear to most people. It's easier to do it with 100 people helping you out. And the way you do that is with tribes. So when I put out a post, my reach to the different tribes that I'm in, just on Triber, is like 4 million people. Now, not all of those people are going to see every single post that I do. In fact, it's going to be a very small percentage. Just because if you think about it, there's 250 million tweets going out every single day on Twitter. But if 1/10 of 1% of those people see it, and another 1% of those people click on it, you're talking about pretty large numbers going to your site. And that's what you're starting to see here with these tribes. And what I'm having is I have a lot of people sending me their traffic. And not everyone will send it on the same day, but I'll get maybe 1 million people who have the potential to see my traffic every single day. And out of that million, maybe 1,000 people will actually see my tweets or their tweets. And then maybe, let's say, 100 people or 25 or 50 people will actually go in. Well, you multiply that up, and you're talking about a lot of traffic on a monthly basis. It gives you the power to get as much traffic as you need to your site, and that's why it's so powerful. And the same thing goes with some of these syndications, because it puts it out to all these different social networks that you're part of and all these different places to help you get additional traffic. So they're very powerful things, and they drive traffic to your site. So the benefit is that you don't have to be everywhere at once. You could have these tribes and these people helping you out, and there is some work involved. It's not like it's all push button. Maybe some stuff like OnlyWire ping is a little bit, but a lot of stuff that you have to put a little bit of effort in, and you get a lot of return. So with that being said, I don't want to talk tribes to death. I want to actually see what questions that you actually
Yes,
have.
we have several questions. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
I'm ready for the thumper.
All right. Well, one of them right here, as far as the Mark was saying, as far as trending topics. Now we know Mark's very sharp at blogging himself, so he's really trying to point out where would we find the trending topics to write about. What's the hot topics right now? Where would we find them?
Okay. Well, it depends on, first of all, what you're looking at, the trending topics for your industry. One of the things that you could do is you could use Google Reader. So Google Reader, for those of you who don't know, it's one of the 10 million free products from Google that basically allows you to read that. It's sort of like an RSS feed of different topics. So if you want to say, hey, look, I'd like to know about all the different internet marketing posts in the last day, you could see what's being posted out there. And you could go through there and you could see, hey, this looks like it's going to be a hot topic. Or, you know what, not a lot of people are talking about this, but I bet you this could be a hot topic if I start talking about it. It's a great way to organize what you're reading. Another thing you could use is some of the similar Twitter varieties like Scoopit and what's the other one?
Do you like? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's another. No, I can't think of the other one. There's another one just like Scoopit, and that actually sorts your Twitter feed. The other thing is just checking out some of the major news sources, just seeing if someone like Mashable or CNET or
now you're talking. Yeah.
Can post something.
Yes.
Was that what you asked?
Well, you went ahead and said some of the things that I know that needed to be answered there. Those are all different good quality places to find trending topics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others that, I mean, that should be enough for everyone here to go get any topic they want to know about.
It is, but you know what? When you have enough friends on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, check your news feeds, check your status updates. I mean, the reality is, if something breaks, it breaks on social media today. So if you want to find the trending topics, check your social media pages, because you'll find them there first.
And if you had to pick one, I think Mashup was just as powerful as anything I've ever seen, and more than you need. I mean, don't get overwhelmed by all the different choices that he's given you. Pick one, and if I'm speaking out of turn, you tell me, Andy. Pick one and dig in deep.
No, you're not. You're absolutely right. I mean, the other thing is, you know, you could do trending topics. I never discourage that. But one of the things that I always find better, I actually get more traffic from non-trending topics. Because if it's trending, that means you're competing with everybody. Because that's the thing that everyone forgets. If it's a trending topic, everyone's doing a trending topic. Everyone wants a new shiny object. However, evergreen sometimes works better because it has longer lasting appeal. So when Google Plus launched their page, everyone decided to write a post on it. And you know, you have to do that anyways when you're in this business, because you don't want to just seem like you're out of touch. But at the same point, if you take a look at that, I still see posts like, I wanted to see how many, I was looking recently because I was doing some statistics checks for a blog post. I wanted to see how many people are on Google Plus. And I checked Google Plus user statistics. And I kept getting all of these articles. Like, Google has 10 million followers, which is what they did like in the first 2 weeks when they're for Google. Well, that's not really relevant anymore. That's out of date. I'm not going to check those articles. If I see an article saying, hey, look, here's Google's population and here's their growth over time, that's more relevant. Because then I could go there at any time and check the numbers out. So don't just look for trending topics. I think evergreen is good also, because evergreen, by its nature, is timeless. That's what evergreen content is. It's something that you could use today or tomorrow, and no one will know the difference. How to ride a bike. If you don't need to know how to ride a bike today, you could learn how to ride a bike tomorrow. It'll be the same information.
Now, we got some questions. We got several questions to go through here. One more time for the title of the book by Seth Godin. Christy's asking, can you give us the name of the book one more time?
Yeah, it's Tribes.
Yeah, that's it. Tribes by Seth Godin. That ought to be easy enough to remember.
Godin. Seth Godin.
Seth Godin.
Godin.
Got it. Yeah, he should be very easy to find on Google, even if you misspell like I do. And if you've been in my Skype rooms, you know I misspell a lot of words. But you get in a hurry and you got to take care of business. So,
Another thing you can check from Seth Godin, by the way, while we're talking about it, and this one's actually free. He actually gave an entire book out, something that he generally charges millions of dollars for. It's called Idea Virus. I might even still have it. So if you contact me on Skype afterwards, I'll talk about it. I'll give my Skype information up later on. But you could check that out. It's a free book from Seth Godin about how to actually get viral traffic. So
awesome.
What were you going to say, Rick?
One of our next questions is, this is something that's a big buzz in the forum and different places, and there's a lot of people think that these content creation blogs are the answer, the cat's meow. And I've been digging in myself and seen some things that could get you in trouble with them. But what is your opinion first on content creation and all these products that they try to make this look like it's really easy? I mean, I know there's some good things in it, but I know there's some very dangerous things to be with curation blogs and using curation software. What is your opinion, Andy?
Yeah. Okay. I think content creation is just sort of halfway sounds like an auto blog.
Yes.
Personally.
Yes.
And that's okay. Let me just make sure we're on the same page with this. Excuse me. I got a little choked up over the topic.
Yeah, I'll bet. I know you don't like it.
Well, content creation is not bad. Okay, first of all, if you're a blogger like myself and you have someone do content curation, they actually link back to your site. Like, I know Triber actually has this reblog feature where your blogs get reblogged, and I think it's okay. However, I think that when you take a look at content curation, if you're doing a little bit of content curation, it's okay. Like for example, one of the things I might do is I might do a reblog once every few weeks of some other triber's blog. That's okay, but I'm not doing that every single day, and I'm not actually, and I have a lot of fresh content. I think curated content by itself, you're never really going to get the traffic that you need, because Google is going to say, look, you're not an authority site, because Google looks at your authority. If all your information is coming from other sites, you're technically not an authority and someone to be trusted. That means that you're not going to get as much traffic from it. That Google, if you're looking for search traffic, and I know Google is not the end all be all, and that's a heck of it. That's a doozy of a conversation. But if you're looking to get search traffic, because that is the number one site in the world, curation blog is going to be halfway okay if you do it every once in a while, but you should still have fresh content for your site.
So bottom line, there is no one push button. Right.
If you're looking, no, it's okay. If you're looking for traffic for curation, if you're doing curation content all the time, then just expect that you have to go elsewhere for your traffic. Expect that your traffic is going to have to be social media. Expect that your traffic is going to have to be forums or pay-per-click, because realistically, I don't think you're going to get a lot of long-term SEO traffic, especially with the Penguin and Panda updates.
Okay, Mark has got a great question here. It's a comment more than anything. He wants to hear your input on the Google Trends. Using
Google
that.
Trends. I don't use them that often. I do use them. I use them more when I'm doing keyword research, because I want to know if the keyword's relevant. I don't know. It's a great tool. There's so many free tools that you could use out there. Sometimes you forget to use it, and that's a great tool that I just don't always use. I don't know why. I don't have an answer for you, but that's another stumper. The Google Trends is a good tool. I don't use it that often. I use Google Keyword Tool all the time. I do use Google Trends a little bit. I read up on what's going on in the industry, and I see what's happening, and I sort of get a feel from that. I guess I could sort of use the search as well, the Google Trends as well, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that, Mark.
Okay. All right, our next question to stump you here, and really it's really finding the best way to get the information. How about trending on Amazon? This comes from Wayne Winmore.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Trending on Amazon. We're talking about trending and using Amazon. How about trending on Amazon? That's his question.
Amazon's a banned word in Illinois.
Well, that's true. It's actually true.
Yeah,
you can't sell. Yeah, it's actually true.
I live in Illinois, and Amazon banned all their affiliates last year. So I go on there. I actually have a few books I'm actually selling myself on there. Other than that, I don't really check the site, because I could look at it for products, but I'm not looking to sell a lot of the products out there. So if I can't sell their products, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I got a little pissed at Amazon for banning all of us, because I don't think that was right.
Excellent. Well, it's not good for you, but it's an excellent answer, because it wasn't just there. Didn't they do that in California and in the state of Arizona too? There were several states. I don't remember.
California, they held off on it. New York, they're doing it I think they're doing it in New York. They did it in Colorado. They did it in North Carolina or South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think there was one or two other states. I don't remember, but every state that they did it in, they banned the affiliates. And I know Illinois, we were up in arms. I mean, we were absolutely, we hated that law. I mean, it was just, it was not a good decision. I think Amazon loved it because Amazon will still get a lot of traffic from it, because there's still a lot of old affiliate links out there that are still linking up to Amazon.
And they'll get paid no matter what. Exactly. They're going to get paid no matter what.
So I think they made out like a thief there, because I think they got a lot of traffic. I think they get a lot of free traffic from that they never would have gotten otherwise.
Gotcha. Well, now that we know that's a really sore subject, and I totally understand, let's move on to our next question. It was from Karen Stalvert. Again, this is about curation again. We've already he's already answered this question, but I'm going to go ahead and maybe there's a new way we can look at it. He says, she says, I've been to a couple of webinars promoting curation. Is it curation good, useful to build your blog? Now, is there a different angle or something we didn't cover the last time we talked about the curation? Because
I think I answered that. Yeah, that's pretty much the same answer.
Yeah. Because there's so many products that are pitching curation that it's going to answer all your problems, push button simple. And the truth of the matter is, you really already know the truth. There is nothing out there. It's a push button. This is not. What is the Office Supply commercial where you push the red button? I can't remember which one it is. We all want the easy button. There's no easy button here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. And that's the reason why I sit here and talk about this stuff. I'm not telling you that you're going to, first of all, and actually let me give you an answer to that, because I think a lot of people are asking about the curation stuff because it sounds easy. You repost someone else's, you do another paragraph for yourself or something like that, and you're done. Well, because in true curation, by the way, you should add in your own thoughts. Just want to clarify that. If you're not adding in your own thoughts and just auto-posting something, that's not curation. That's just auto-blogging.
Isn't there several lawsuits over that right now?
With auto-blogging?
Yes, with curation.
It's very possible. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's gonna be. I'm sure that's a new thing. I mean, even take a look at like sites like Pinterest. There's some huge challenges with that because Pinterest is taking a look. Pinterest is basically curated material. So it's actually, you want to know the largest source of curated material on the web?
Who?
Google.
Oh, of course.
Google is the largest source of curated material because all they do is they put together everyone else's information on the web and they curate it. If you really think about the basics of what Google does, they curate it. They curate content.
Mark's got a good point.
They're doing other things as well, but
right. Well, moving on here, Mark's got a great point here. Something that I do myself is what about setting up Google notifications? You can get a lot of great topics and trending information on any topic you want with Google notifications. So, anything you want to add to that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very easy to do too. Do you want to give everybody here that's not using that a quick 50-cent tour of just getting their Google notifications?
Yeah, I mean, you're setting up. I mean, you set up. You can go through Google notifications. You set it up. I haven't tested notifications. I feel bad, Mark. You're asking me you are stumping me because you're asking all the questions. I don't set up a lot of Google notifications. I just check my news every single day because I have that on iGoogle, which they're actually getting rid of. So you are actually stumping me, Mark. I haven't set it up in a long time, but you could just go. If you go to Google.com, just click notifications, and they could actually walk you through it. So, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I'd be asking that many questions about Google today. Apparently, next time I have to study up on Google.
Now you know, but that's okay. I mean, Google notifications is something that I use myself. I know that Mark uses it. Very powerful, very easy to do. It's not hard to do at all. Just get in there and play around on Google. You'll get everything you want and then some. Now, Karen Rowland here is talking about curation again. This is a quote. The Huffington Post is being sued about using other people's content. Okay, so if they'll go after the big boys, just be careful using.
They're going to go after the big boys. They're going to go after the big boys first because they're going to get money from them. They might go after small people, but they know they're not going to get as much money. So it's easy for them to go against Huffington Post because especially since they were just bought out by AOL, that's a huge multi-billion-dollar corporation. But you're absolutely right. That's a big issue right now. And actually, I think the law that they were trying to pass earlier this year, the one where we did the Black Tuesday or whatever it was, we did that Black Wednesday where all the sites shut down and did Blackbird Day. It basically was about that. It was about some of those same issues because what was happening was Congress had a law saying, hey, look, if you copy somebody's information and you're stealing it, basically someone can go into the court and they could just shut down your site with no hearing or no trial, which is a huge violation. So I'll tell you what, Rick, let's do one or two more final questions.
All right, yeah, we're going to wrap this up. There's tons of questions that I know that you guys are going to be, ladies and gentlemen, will be asking again later, and we're both available on Skype. We're not hard to reach, and by all means, yes, this is just a comment. Wayne one more is talking about the Google thieves. Now the biggest competitor is Google itself is now your competition. So, yes, it's very interesting some of the things that keep changing. And, yes, you have to compete against Google too. So one thing I want to ask you before we get into the next part of our webinar, and this is something that I've got to try to stump you a little bit. And I only mean this because this is something that really needs to be asked. The question is this. If you had to start all over again, okay, you've been doing this. You've created over 700 blog posts. You're the only person that I've ever known that actually does that. I've bought things on blogs. I've bought things on WordPress. I've never actually met anybody or known anybody that's done what you've done, Andy. So you're the real deal.
You don't know anyone else as crazy as me?
Nobody's crazy as you, or nobody is knowledgeable in blogging. That's why I'm so passionate about what you do, and why I want to make sure that your message is out there, that you can teach and show people how to do these things, how to make money, how to be the authority in their area. But if you were to start all over right now, just boom, took everything you had and you tossed it in the trash, but had the knowledge in your head, you started fresh with a brand new blog. Is there a system of events or a step-by-steps, maybe a few outlines, maybe a few points that you could show us or teach us in, say, 2 minutes that you would do different?
Okay. First I would have, wow. I know we were talking about this, and the biggest thing I would say is I would have worked more on my Facebook fan page.
Okay.
And that's one of the things, I'm actually doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, two things. One, I would have built my Facebook fan page, and two, I would have built my email list a lot sooner. Because with Facebook, when I was my first year blogging, I think I got 7,000 visits to my site total for the entire year. I mean, I think about that now, and I'm like, wow, that was really, I thought that was, I remember getting 50 visits a day in, like, the last month of the year. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of visits. And I finally hit the 1,000 mark, and I thought that was great. And I look back at it now, and I'm like, well, that's really kind of low. And the biggest thing that I would have done is, one, I would have actually got more people to sign up to my Facebook fan page. I signed up 300 people to my Facebook fan page just for my blog, and I don't even think I had it up the entire year, so I probably had it up like 6 to 8 months. The second thing I would have done is I would have gone in and I would have built up my email list faster. I didn't really focus on that enough. I didn't really put out a good enough offer. And then actually I'm going to add a third thing in here. I would have done those tribes a lot sooner. I really, you cannot do stuff by yourself. When I started, I had this cowboy attitude. You know what? That's okay. I have enough followers. I could drive traffic, whatever I need. Some of those, I figured, hey, look, if I get 1,000 of those people to come to my site every single day, then maybe like 50 of them will share stuff on Twitter, and by the end of the month, I'll have 100,000 visits to my site. I'm like, this will be great. You have that image in your mind of what the ideal outcome is going to be. And the reality is that you don't get that visit because, first of all, people don't know who you are. And there's always the newbie question. Hey, look, I'm just starting. And it takes time to build that. And I'm not going to say that's going to happen automatically. However, the other part is that when you're building up the site, if you do it by yourself, you're going to get overwhelmed. And this is something I've found for my own business time and time again. My best ventures have been with other people. And the reason why that is because, I'm very smart at blogging. I know that. But, if you ask me to start fixing the HTML or PHP, I have no clue what I'm doing. And that's where, and I called Josh Alexander about that, and he'll laugh and is like, well, it's really simple. All you do is this and this, and I'll go in, we'll FTP something, and I know the basics. But he makes my head spin when he starts talking about that.
Me too. I'm on the same page. I totally get that. You do need help, and it sounds to me like you didn't, and this is a common mistake. You thought everybody would come run to your new greatest thing and buy from you, and that's not the truth at all.
Exactly.
You've got to make an offer that's compelling, that'll help them solve their problem. What's in it for me? What is the famous radio station Zig Ziglar said?
Yeah,
what's in it for me? Yeah, exactly. So if it's not in it for them, you've lost them right there. So you've got to make sure that you make an offer that's for them. Real quickly,
that took me a long time to figure out.
Speaking of making an offer and making it right, and something that's what's in it for me. Everybody on this webinar tonight has got the same things they're asking. What's in it for me? What would this blogging information do for me? What would it do for my business? Could you help us and tell us what's in it for them?
Okay. Well, first of all, I know a lot of people here on this call are probably either internet marketers or offline consultants, because I know a lot of people that are listening and a lot of these groups are. I know not everybody is. So if you're not, I'll get to that in a second. But for those people who are, I use my blog as a portfolio of sorts. I do a lot of writing for other people. I do videos. I'm not talking about like the high-end videos. I'm talking like I'll do the basic videos that people need just to do on a regular basis for their YouTube channel. And then I'll also do other things like LinkedIn and Facebook. And when people ask me about what I could do, a lot of times I start sending to my blog. Whenever a client has a question about something, I send them blog posts because I don't want to sit there and answer every single thing that I've ever answered before because it doesn't make sense. So the biggest thing that I do, I use it as a portfolio. And I've actually gotten a lot of business just from my blog because people say it might not be the thing that initially sold them, but when they start looking at it and I make sure I put, especially now that I have a lot of blog posts, I don't think I did this initially, but now, because I have so many different blog posts on there, I'll actually put it out there. I'll say, hey, look, by the way, check out, when people ask me for, they want samples of my writing, I said, you should check out my 750 articles on social media and blogging and internet marketing and SEO. And most of them don't even ask me any more questions about legitimacy afterwards. So it closes a lot of deals for me. Secondly, for those of you who are having products to sell, I do sell some affiliate products off the blog every once in a while. I don't get a ton of sales from that, but I also get a lot of people who are wanting to do joint ventures with me. I have a lot of people who are referral partners and wanting to bring me business, and they're checking me out. The other thing is I do get some clients who want to actually use my services.
Hi, honey.
What's that? Hello?
I don't know what was going on there, but
All I heard was hi, Andy.
yeah. All right.
Hello?
Well, we definitely got to stop that, whatever that is. We got to stop that right now.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going on, right?
They're all muted. Maybe somebody's messing something. That's just you and me, and there's no dogs in my house. Okay.
Everyone else is muted?
That's as far as I can tell. I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and what's in it for me? What's in it for the people that are here tonight? Can we get to that part of the call? That would be. Let's move forward here.
Hello?
Yes, we're right here. Ready to move forward. Yes, right here.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just hearing other voices, so I just.
I don't know. Let's move forward. What's in it for our people here?
So you want to know more about blog traffic? What Rick and I are doing right now is we're actually putting together a dynamic group. We want to help you increase your traffic to your site through blogging. We want to, as I like to say, end the stress of playing Russian roulette with different traffic methods. And we want to help you find the hottest traffic sources for your business and just get your questions answered, sort of like what we're doing tonight. It's a place where we can get everything together because what we found is that most people have the basics there. They just need to know how to get from step A to step B. And that's what we want to help you out with. We want to help you get to the next step so you can be successful and do it faster. The reason why I had 7,500 visits to my site in the first year was because I didn't know what I was doing. And the reality was I probably should have asked for help a lot sooner, but I didn't. And that's what I want to help you with. I want to help you get there a lot sooner. Doesn't mean that you don't have to work. It doesn't mean that this is all going to be push buttons. But for those of you who want to put in a little bit of effort, we can help get you there and get the traffic and get the business that you want a lot faster. So what are we offering? Very simple. We're giving you access now. We're giving you access to our bi-weekly webinar sessions that we're going to be doing where we discuss hot blog traffic every other Tuesday. And actually tomorrow is Tuesday, and on the Tuesday session we have coming up, we're actually going to be discussing how to use social media for your blog traffic. And you also get access to a mastermind Skype room devoted specifically to members of the group where you could, one, network with people, and secondly, you can actually ask them questions. Because the fact is that a lot of people, you're going to have questions for us as we go on. We know a webinar is not going to be enough to answer everything. So So we wanted to give access to people to a Skype mastermind group room where you can actually ask all the questions that you have about how to use different tools and different strategies and different ideas. The other thing is we're going to give Rick surprise bonus of the month. And, since it's a surprise, Rick's going to make me go hush-hush on this one.
Well, I will say this much. I'll say this really quickly. Bottom line is I'm getting some help from Mark Holgren. He's created an amazing site for me. I've got Andy Nathan is also an expert on this, and Andy's the man that's the best that I know at blogging. And I'll give you a little tip. We're putting together a directory site for restaurants in the Pittsburgh area, all about texting, all about getting content inside a blog. So you're going to see me build this live, and by all means, I'm not an expert, but Andy Nathan definitely is an expert at it, and you're going to see me build it live with his help and some technical help from Mark, and actually go out there and get customers live. As far as you'll be able to see on a daily basis how I interact, how I did the texting services, how I'm making money with local businesses right here in Pittsburgh. And by the way, as you already know, Andy Nathan is an offline consultant. That's his main core business. So this is not fluff. This is not theory. You actually get to see it live. So that's one of the biggest bonuses that I think that anybody could give you. You get to see this live. So and you also are going to be in our Skype rooms or Skype groups. And anyway, take it away, Andy. I didn't want to take away too much of that, but I thought that was we needed to clarify that and let them know how powerful that truly is.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate that because you know what, that's your surprise bonus. That's why I was asking you to say something about it. The final thing is a custom tweet, and I know a lot of people. I told the team here today. I offered this, and I'll talk to you guys about this at the end. We're going to offer a custom tweet to 96,000 followers about whatever internet marketing, consulting product or service you're working on at the time. So if you're in pretty much most businesses, between 96,000 followers, I'm pretty sure someone would be interested. And what I'm going to do is I'll do one tweet to your followers every single month that you're a member. And I might up that, I might reduce that depending upon how it's going. And there's some other things that we're going to do with that as well. But you get you basically get a tweet about what's going on with your services. Now, the final thing, which I actually don't have on here, and because I was actually thinking it would be part of this, but this is actually an added thing. For those of you who join the membership, we're also going to give you access to our Triber group. Now, you have to join Triber to do this, but we'll actually give you access to the Triber group that I belong to. So as long as you're sharing and you're active in that Triber group, and this has to be a two-way street, by the way. I'm not going to do this just one way. But what we'll do is, for everyone who's in the Triber group and you have your blog, I'll actually retweet your stuff in this Triber group on a regular basis. So for those of you who want to get regular traffic and you want to start testing out Triber, I'm giving you this offer because I have 66,000 followers, and with your blog post, you could have access to that on a regular basis. And this is for members only. I'm not going to be letting people in who are not members because I want to make sure that the people who I give the traffic to are people who are actually members of what we're talking about. Which brings me to this. So you're probably all, how much? Is this going to be $1,000 a month? Negative, Jet Rider. What we're doing here is, and this is for a free trial offer, for 14 days, we're actually doing this for $1. So basically, like anything, like any great thing, like, most people would say, like, I know Rick says, puts it in there, I charge about $150 an hour. And by the way, I do want to, I think Rick didn't know that. That's actually a mistake. I charge $125, but that's okay. I charge $125 an hour for personal consulting one-on-one. If you want to do that with me, that's fine. I have no problem doing this with you. But if you want access to this at a fraction of that price, and I'm telling you, 1 hour, I generally charge at least for 2 hours for people when they're doing this. But when I'm doing this one-on-one, I'm talking about $1 to start for 14 days and $17 per month afterwards. That's it. You get access to the biweekly membership. You get access to the Triber group. You get access to my 96,000 followers. You get access to the Skype Mafia room. And you're basically able to do whatever you need to succeed with blog traffic because you have the knowledge there. The only thing that you don't get is you have to actually act on it. So if you want to get started with this, go to the link here. That's this is http://Google, and that's goo.gl/RMLTL. And that is pretty much it. So for those who are looking to get started, Rick, are you putting that in the sidebar?
I just put it in there. I'll make sure that it goes in there right. I want to make sure everybody can see that. I'll type it in one more time just to make sure. Now, one other thing that he's not bringing up that I thought was really, really interesting as far as the Triber part of it was the fact, how many people are in that tribes again? Is it 66,000? Is that what you said?
Well, I'm talking about my followers. The tribe that I just started up the tribe about a week or two ago for this. Actually, I started up a few months ago. I just never did anything.
What about the combined membership? Well, what I'm getting at is what you shared with me the last time we discussed this. What about the combined membership of all those people? Does that not run into a lot higher than that? Tell them about the possibilities.
The benefit of this is, that's the benefit of doing this group is that the longer we do this and the more people join the membership group, the more traffic that you get. Because remember, we're just starting off this membership drive, so we don't have a lot of people in right now. But as we start driving in more members and more people start signing up for Triber, the numbers are going to grow. So instead of having 66,000 followers like I have, maybe Rick has like 1,500 followers and he joins Triber. And then also in addition to that, let's say that, Rick joins Triber, he has 1,500, and Mark joins Triber, he has 5,000 followers on Twitter. So it's not just my followers that you're talking about, it's the combined followers of everyone. So you might be talking about 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 people who can start sharing your information. And as we grow this membership, you'll start seeing more and more benefits of that.
Excellent point. That's the part. That's the part that you needed to drive home there, because maybe that could get lost in the discussion here with all the numbers and everything. The fact is, some of the people that he's associated with have hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, the numbers are just staggering. If you put the right offer out there and it's quality content, is it worth $1 to try? Of course, it's worth $1 to try. Think about the possibilities of if you're doing offline consulting like Andy does. How many clients do you actually have to have? It's worth it if you got one. If your if you're charging your client $125 an hour, or Facebook fan pages, whatever you're doing with the blog, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely, and the other thing is with some of the stuff that Rick's going to show you in terms of monetizing it. Think about it from the mobile side. You get one client a month for $100, and you learn how to do that from blogging, and you learn how to drive traffic, and then you can start showing them how to do it. You can start charging those clients $100 to $200 for what you're learning from this course as well, and that's $100 a month, and you're only paying us $17. So if that's not a good deal for you, I'm okay with that. Generally, I understand that most people consider anything where you get your return on investment back is pretty good. This is about 10 times your return.
Yeah, and I've actually went ahead and looked at what some of the other courses are what they're offering as far as blogging, as far as content creation. I won't mention all the names, but I'll give you a little clue, and you can look for yourselves. I don't see any of them that are at this price point. I see none of them anywhere close to that. I see prices more like $47 monthly, $97. I saw a course.
And we actually having people telling us we're not charging enough.
Exactly. I saw a course that's doesn't give away even half of what he's going to be doing. There's none of this 96,000 followers. There's none of the training on the tribe itself. It's one package course, which I'm sure is amazing. But what I saw on their page was $497. And of course, it's a one-time fee. That's your choice, though. You can do this for a $1 trial, or you can pay $497 and you still won't have the power of being the networking power of people that you know and learn to know and trust, because we're here. We're not on the other end of the world where you'll never be able to hear from us. You're in the Skype rooms with us. You'll have direct contact with us. In fact, everybody knows they can actually pick up the phone and call me. And I know that's a little old-fashioned.
The other thing is, Oh, sorry, Rick.
No, that's just being real. I mean, everybody that's in my Skype rooms, any of my masterminds knows that. So, in fact, I think most of the people in here know my actual real phone number. So, Andy and me have been working on this for a long period of time. The last 3-4 months, we've been mapping this out. And Andy is definitely, he's like so many other people in our main groups. They're geniuses in those particular, they're masters at what they do. And you could definitely learn a few things, and it's definitely worth your time. So what's in it for me? That's what it's in it for you. Come on board today.
And also, by the way, for contacting, let me add that you could always check on my blog as well. Because, I was going to show that afterwards, but that's okay. The other thing is you could always contact me on my blog. I mean, realistically, I'm on there every day. So, and you could comment, and if you have questions or thoughts on a different topic, you could always check that blog post. If you have questions on that post, or if you have posts on something similar, let me know, or just there's even a contact form on there. And I did say, by the way, that there'd be a bonus. So, I want to just make sure that everyone has the opportunity for that bonus. Rick, I'm just going to give that out to everybody now. If you want me to tweet, first of all, you know what? I'm gonna just make this a requirement here. I wasn't thinking about doing this because I have to have everyone do it. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna send this when I send out an email with the video of this recording. I'll also just give you my email address to follow up with me. Now, you could also share this with people. Don't share my email address, preferably. And anyone who is not at this webinar will not get this service because you actually have to be here. So those who are watching by video, this is not for you. This is only for people who attended. And Rick and I have the list of people who attended this webinar. But for those who attended, just email me, and I'll actually I'll put it in. I'll schedule it in. Now, you have to give it to me by Friday, and you have to write it because I'm not going to write your tweets. Because if I had to write your tweets, the links would go to my site. And I don't think anyone wants that.
Well, that's a fair deal. How could you be any more fair than that, though? You mean all you're telling us is to do is write the tweets, which are 140 characters or less. We all know that. And send them to you, and you will tweet them out by Friday if they come on board today.
Yeah, and by the way, if it's about sex, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff, then I'm not going to post it.
Okay.
Must be a non-adult. I forgot to put that in there, but I'm telling that so people are aware.
Okay.
And for those who want to contact me, and you can also contact me on my blog. That's what I was saying before. Contact me at andynathan.net. And again, here's the link so you can get in $1 trial. I mean, we really shouldn't even have to sit here and tell you if you don't have enough for $1, realistically, you're not going to succeed anyways because $1 for your blog.
Well, that's pretty blunt, but yeah.
It costs even more for that for hosting.
You're sounding too much like me, man. That's scary. I'm starting to rub off on you. I'm a little too blunt sometimes.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I sound like Rick.
Man, no, don't do that. Hey, I'm gonna say one more thing, and hopefully everybody can latch on to this and understand this. Yes, of course, we're here to help you in any way we can, and I'm gonna do something that. Maybe it's a little over the top, and y'all all know that I'm a little over the top, and that's okay. I mean, hopefully you're still here. So the people that are here today, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm building out a directory for restaurants here in Pittsburgh. I've already said that. You get to see me build that live. You get to see me load the customers in there live. I mean, that alone in itself, if you went to these offline guru packages you see all over the place, they're charging $97 a month, or they're charging a $297 product or whatever. I mean, a larger amount of money. You're going to get that absolutely free. You're going to see me grow that business. You're going to be able to add your input on that. And that's going to be totally free because I want you to see me succeed. I want to succeed with this. I want to help you do the same thing if you want to do with mobile, which is not technically part of blogging, but getting the traffic to that site is all about what he's teaching. And the only thing else I could say is it's 8:10 Eastern Standard Time. What do you say, Andy? What kind of a bonus could we give them if they signed up tonight? Only tonight. What could we do? I know what I can do, and I'm just going to say.
I'll tell you what. If you want to do that, you should ask Karen and Phil because I just saw that they just signed up. I'm just taking a look here.
Okay.
I want to thank you two.
Well, thank you.
That's a bonus to me.
Okay. Well, that's good. They're going to get it right away. Then I'll give that to them right away in the Skype room. All right. Here's what I'm going to do, and this is tonight. This is it. You can watch this on recording, and you won't get it. The people that are only on this call and only tonight, you're already getting something that was above and beyond everything that's here. I'm also going to give you my mobile marketing goldmine product, the front end and the back end. If you've ever had any desire to do an offline consulting business, if you've ever had a desire to write articles, if you've ever had a desire to run blogs or do WordPress, anything, you do it face to face, because none of this here, none of these content products, none of these video marketing products, WordPress, any of this stuff sells itself. Believe it or not, you actually have to go out there and meet offline clients. I know that's tough, but there is no push button here. But I will give you the next best thing. What I know actually works from years of the hard knocks of how to physically meet people and close the deal. And you're going to get the front end and the back end of that deal right now, tonight only. And that's less than 4 hours away. And of course, the people that did sign up tonight, thank you for doing that. You will definitely get that. I'll give that to you immediately as soon as I get off this call. You'll get that. So that's it. We've already given away the kitchen sink, for lack of better words. If that's not good enough, I can't do anything more. We've already given away way more than we should have, and you got 3 hours and change. So I keep my word. So there it is. I'm done. Anything else, Andy?
Rick, I'm gonna add one other thing to that. I have I have two products here. I'm gonna give away.
No. I know. What is it? Is it the blog? Well, I tell you what. If you're gonna do it, and this is not scheduled at all, but I'll tell you this much: if you're gonna do it, they have to make a decision tonight. But that's your call. You do it any way you want to do it. For $1, I mean, come on.
Hey Rick, this is what I'm gonna offer. Very simple. For those who do it tonight, who sign up tonight, I will give you a copy of 20 to 10 articles, and also, actually, I'll give you a copy of 20 to 10 articles and also social media handbook. Those are actually two live products that I'm actually selling right now, by the way.
And how much are those selling for right now?
I know 20 articles selling for 17, and I think social media handbook is like 7. Okay,
and my products are on the Warrior Forum and and it was $16 for those products. So you get that, the $16 worth of my products that are on the Warrior Forum right now. You're getting the products that he's mentioned. That's what, $24 that you would go out and pay. You're getting to see me build this business live from the ground up. You're getting to see, 96,000 followers. And the last two bonuses, that's it. That can't be any more real than that. It's got to be tonight. So yeah, nobody likes to be pressured, but there it is.
And thank you, by the way, Mark, also. So I'm just going through here. I'll tell you what, then that's pretty much it. For those of you who want to contact us, definitely do so. You see all the information right here. I want to thank everybody. We'll definitely be available via Skype. Rick's going to be sending me the list later on for those people who have already signed up. I'll make sure I get that. I'll make sure I get you everything by tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody that came to the call. Thank you, Andy, for another amazing webinar. And there's the last two bonuses. There's the bonuses he said. You all get those. And Karen definitely will take care of you here in just a few minutes. Everybody's got your Skype link in here. I'll put mine. Here's mine real fast. And again, I'm not hard to find. I sent that to everybody. There's my Skype. All right, so I'm not hard to find.
Actually, you have mine. It's right there.
Yeah.
I don't have to rewrite it.
No, I'm going to do that real fast, and then we're going to call it a night, because this is insane. I didn't know you were going to do that part of it now.
I wasn't, I had to one-up you.
Well, hey, the truth is, man, this whole setting up this site is going to be a big thing, learning curve that I'm going to definitely be leaning on your teaching to help me do that. And it's going to be very exciting, and it's definitely going to be some eye openers there, and it's going to be done live. So I don't know what else I can say, but just we got to make that happen. I'm going to make that happen with your teaching. I definitely know that's going to happen. So I've got a good clean recording. Hopefully you've got one too. And any last closing thoughts before we go? We done gave away everything. The farm and everything. That's good. Those last bonuses are good for another 3 hours and 45 minutes, and it's 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just want to thank everyone who came out tonight.
Yes, contact. Yes, there's how should I contact Andy for his bonuses? That we just put this link for the Skype in there. We're both in there. Thank you, Mark, for coming aboard. Mark's definitely a sharp gentleman for this. Definitely will be a great addition. Thank you, Mark. Mark's going to be that's actually some great things going to be done there with Mark. But we'll talk about that later. Thank you so much, everybody that's come to the webinar. Any closing thoughts, Andy, before we go?
No, like I said, I just want to thank everybody, and I look forward to all the new members.
All right. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.